Before the video starts, I'd like to make a little announcement that I now have a Discord server for my channel. Not only will I post updates and sneak peeks regarding my channel, but I'll also be able to receive feedback from my viewers in real time. And at the same time, also give you guys a place where you can talk about your favorite science fiction franchises. If this sounds like something that you'd be interested in, please feel free to click the link in the description. Even in the vast darkness of space, remaining effectively hidden is still a difficult task. Drive plumes, tight beam flashes, weapons fire, these are just a few things that can alert others to your location. Fortunately, that is where stealth technology comes in. Stealth was by no means something that can be done cheaply, and for years, only the cutting-edge Martians were able to fund such a project. However, during the period leading up to the UN-MCR war, an unexpected power began constructing stealth technology under the books. Unlike many other science fiction franchises, the Expanse takes on stealth in a very realistic manner and consists of 4 things: special stealth composites, overkill cooling, relying on passive systems, and remaining on the float for the period of time that you desire to remain hidden. We are first introduced to stealth technology in Season 1 when the UN catches an OPA smuggler who was carrying contraband stealth composites. While ultimately not being able to figure out what it was for, Earth begins to suspect that Mars is working with the OPA. This, however, turns out to be false, but does lead to the discovery of a total of 9 Martian sites dedicated to stealth tech research and retrofitting of gunships. Earth had previously only known about 6. We are also introduced to the Protogen stealth ships in the same season. Known as the Amun-Ra stealth frigates, this is the only known ship class in the system that was dedicated completely to stealth. Angular sheets that were covered in stealth composites acted as the hull of the ship and made it nearly impossible for passing by ships to detect them when its drive was offline. In conjunction with specially configured hull plating, these composites could be used to absorb or reflect radar signals. It is also worth noting that the composites were colored black in order to blend in with the blackness of space. Each system on the ship was especially fine-tuned and had excellent cooling. Situated at the back of the vessel was the Bush Orbital Shipyard's hypercooled Epstein drive, a new design of drive that was made in complete secrecy at Luna. This class of ship also had advanced targeting systems tailored to its stealth functionality. Armament-wise, the ship didn't fall short either. Starting off with the basics, the ship was equipped with 4 hypercooled point defense cannons that were commissioned at Luna. These PDCs were linked to cutting-edge targeting suites as well and were able to knock down even the best torpedoes that Mars could offer. This ship also came with a pair of concealed rapid reload torpedo tubes that could fire torpedoes of a wide variety. These torpedoes range from plasma to tactical nukes and had top-of-the-line guidance systems that could get past the best of PDC grids. Finally, the ship was equipped with an S-24 Khopesh railgun that was fixed internally to the ship's spine. At the time, this was the smallest railgun ever built, and it required the ship's nose to be pointed directly at the target to successfully land a hit. This class of ship also came with a long-range shuttlecraft that also had the capability of going stealth as well. Despite not having extensively tuned cooling systems for their ships, the MCRN also had several retrofitted warships with stealth capabilities. A good example of this is the refitted Morrigan-class patrol destroyers. These ships had certain parts of their hull replaced with modified stealth panels. However, other systems on the ship were still vulnerable to being detected if not used sparingly. Next, we have the Stealth Sea ballistic missile platforms that are also utilized by the MCRN. A total of 5 of these platforms were constructed and placed around Earth in optimal strike locations. However, these platforms frequently move around and possess sensor blinding technology to hide their positions. On top of this, of course, they use stealth composites to deflect or absorb radar signals. Measuring 83 meters in length, the platforms house 10 Planet Buster torpedoes, each equipped with 20 high-yield nerve warheads. These warheads would be ejected from the main torpedo casing just as it reaches the perimeter of a planet's defenses. Regardless of a planet's defenses, some of these warheads are still able to get through. Even one of these warheads hitting the surface of a planet can cause devastating damage with millions dead. While being extremely useful and most of the time effective, stealth technology is not invulnerable. Sensors that are powerful enough are able to break through. The only known example of this are the UN Watchtowers spy satellites. Over the course of the Expanse's timeline, these were used to spot Martian ships and missile platforms from a large distance, and were critical in stopping nearly 200 individual asteroid strikes that the Free Navy had attempted against Earth. Now we're moving on to the history of stealth tech. As mentioned before, we are first introduced to the tech through an OPA operative who was caught smuggling them. For years, Mars has been developing this technology in somewhat secrecy. Only several ships were fortunate enough to be installed with stealth tech. We get to see a Martian stealth ship for the first time when the MCRN Shandian suddenly appears on the UNN Arbogast sensors over Venus. The ship is later lost, however, due to being deconstructed by the protomolecule. I'd also like to mention that this display right here is a bit strange. Despite the fact that the Shandian is supposed to be a Morgan class, what is actually shown is a ship that looks almost like a heavy frigate in shape. My theory for this is that the Shandian's stealth capabilities are messing with the UNS Arbogast's capability to correctly identify the ship's class from a certain range. This doesn't really make that much sense, but it does put my mind slightly at rest. In Season 4 and 5, we learned that Martian stealth composites were being traded with Free Navy belters in exchange for protomolecule. These composites were placed onto the surfaces of several iron-nickel asteroids, which were later thrown at Earth as revenge for decades of persecuting innocent belters. Leading this movement was none other than Marco Inaros. Finally, towards the end of Season 6, we see a Martian strike team with presumably upgraded stealth technology. This force consisted of 3 Sirocco-class assault cruisers, 2 Orion-class heavy frigates, and 1 Morgan-class patrol destroyer. Unlike the Shandian, the ships in this strike team were entirely covered in black stealth composites and were able to be applied to bigger and bulkier ships like the Sirocco class. This team was able to go from Ceres all the way to the Sol Ring without anyone catching on until they were right outside banging on the door. Unfortunately, the newly installed RSRGs were able to take them out almost instantaneously after entering the ring space. Thank you for watching my breakdown on stealth technology in the Expanse TV show. If you would like to see more Expanse videos or non-Expanse videos alike, please click the subscribe button so you never miss a new upload.